yang telah disediakan oleh panitia.
Saya Regar, program studi produksi media. Yang membuat saya memilih Politeknik Tempo itu karena dosen-dosennya memiliki pengalaman kerja di industri media lebih dari 50 tahun. Sejak awal perkuliahan, saya sudah praktik langsung di redaksi, desain, dan bagian bisnis. Praktik ini merupakan sesuatu yang tidak akan diperoleh di perguruan tinggi lain.
Saya Hani, ibu dari Almera, program studi produksi media. Politeknik Tempo buat saya adalah institusi yang life changing karena anak saya ini sebelum di Tempo dia pernah kuliah di perguruan tinggi lain bahkan sampai ke Cina. Dan dia merasa tidak enjoy sampai akhirnya dia kuliah di Politeknik Tempo ini. Ini luar biasa banget membuat Almera itu berubah. Karena yang ada di Politeknik Tempo ini, selain dia mengedukasi hard skill, dia juga membekali soft skill baik disiplin, akhlak, kejujuran, attitude, effort, terutama motivasi yang luar biasa karena hubungan antara dosen dengan mahasiswanya itu tidak ada jarak, jadi lebih bonding gitu, tidak seperti perguruan tinggi lain yang kaku antara mahasiswa dengan dosen. Nah, yang saya lihat perubahan di anak saya dengan kuliah di Politeknik Tempo ini itu sangat signifikan karena dia punya motivasi effort yang luar biasa terutama di pekerjaan saya karena pekerjaan saya pun memang di media sosial itu bisa langsung dipraktekkan ilmu yang dia dapat di Politeknik Tempo ini. Jadi itu perubahannya itu nyata, bahkan dia bisa sampai presentasi untuk pekerjaan saya. Dia juga secara kemampuan berkomunikasinya juga jauh juga lebih baik. Jadi memang yang mau kuliah di Politeknik Tempo itu nggak usah ragu karena memang itu yang didapatnya itu luar biasa, tidak hanya teori tapi praktek yang saya rasakan sendiri dari anak saya.
Politeknik Tempo, Bapak Salvi Andri, SPMM, beserta segenap Bapak Ibu dosen dan tenaga kependidikan yang kami hormati, Dr. Muhammad Rakib Moh Sofyan, narasumber dari University Science Islam Malaysia, serta seluruh teman-teman mahasiswa peserta International Guest Lecture yang hadir secara daring pada kesempatan ini. Izinkan saya memperkenalkan diri. Nama saya Tiara Mainur Azizah, mahasiswi semester 1 Program Studi Produksi Media, Politeknik Tempo. First of all, let us express our gratitude to Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, for allowing us together today in this online international guest lecture organized by the Media Production Study Program Politeknik Tempo. Kegiatan ini merupakan bagian dari pengayaan pembelajaran mata kuliah pengantar ilmu komunikasi dengan mengusung tema Gen Z Intercultural Flow, the Dynamics of Indonesia-Malaysia Cross-Cultural Communication on Digital Platforms. This academic forum aims to broaden students' global perspectives and to connect fundamental communication theories with real intercultural practices in digital and online environments. Hadirin yang kami hormati, to officially open this session, let us and we listen to National Anthem Indonesia Raya, followed by the Mars Polytechnic Tempo.
menyingsing di ufuk timur, mengalirkan cipta dan harapan. Kami mahasiswa yang cerdas, luhur, siap songsong cerah masa depan. Ilmu keterampilan di genggaman, mahasiswa yang cerdas, luhur, siap song-song cerah masa depan. Ilmu keterampilan di genggaman, semangat integritas terpatri dalam kalbu. Ayo semua bergerak maju, Politeknik Tempo terus melaju.
Terima kasih. Please remain comfortable in your respective places. Hadirin sekalian, acara selanjutnya adalah sambutan dari Wakil Direktur Bidang Akademik dan Kemahasiswaan Politeknik Tempo, Bapak Muhammad Nur Hidayat, SOS MM. To Bapak Muhammad Nur Hidayat, the Zoom floor is yours.
Oke, cek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang semuanya dalam International Guest Lecture dari Dr. Rokib. Materi yang beliau sampaikan berjudul Gen Z Intercultural Flow, The Dynamic of Indonesia-Malaysia Cross-Culture Communication on Digital Platform. Sebagai sebuah perguruan tinggi, kegiatan ini penting bagi Politeknik Tempo karena ini merupakan kerjasama internasional yang akan menambah nilai positif bagi akreditasi kita. Semoga kita semua memperoleh manfaat dalam kegiatan siang ini. Welcome, Dr. Rokib. Your presentation is General Cultural Flow, the dynamic of Indonesian Malaysia cross-cultural communication on digital platform. As a university, this activity is important for Politeknik Tempo. This international collaboration will add positive value to its accreditation. May we will get benefit from this afternoon activity. So thank you for Mr. Rokib. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih atas sambutan dan arahan yang sangat bermakna. Hadirin yang kami hormati, we will now proceed to the main session of today's International Guest Lecture. Acara inti ini akan dipandu oleh moderator yang juga merupakan dosen pengampu mata kuliah pengantar ilmu komunikasi pada program studi produksi media Politeknik Tempo. The session will feature our distinguished international guest speaker from University Science Islam Malaysia. Moderator kegiatan hari ini adalah Ibu Rizky Ayu Budi Pratiwi, SOS MIKOM, dan narasumber kita adalah Dr. Muhammad Rakib, Senior Lecturer from the Faculty of Leadership and Management, University Science Islam Malaysia. From this point onward, the entire main session, including the lecture presentation and the discussion and Q&A session, will be fully moderated by our moderator. To our moderator, the Zoom floor is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. Dr. Akib, Pak Salvi, Pak Nurhi, Bapak Ibu dosen, all respected lecturers and dear students in Politeknik Tempo. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very warm good afternoon. Thank you, Tiara, our MC, for the opening. Nice job, Tiara. Yeah, and for guiding us through the initial session. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to warmly welcome all participants, all the students, to our international guest lectures for the course Pengantar Ilmu Komunikasi, Introduction of Communication Studies. And today's lecture is a very, very special because it brings together academic perspective from Indonesia and Malaysia, and focusing on how Gen Z navigates intercultural communication in digital space. Dan ini izinkan saya untuk menyampaikan bahwa ini bukan sekedar kuliah tamu, teman-teman, tapi ini adalah ruang dialog akademik lintas negara, ruang belajar bersama yang relevan dengan keseharian digital kita pastinya ya. Dan sedikit mau belajar berbahasa Malaysia. Kami amat sangat berbesar hati menerima kehadiran rekan akademik dari Malaysia untuk berkongsi ilmu dan pengalaman bersama our student di Polytechnic Tempo. Dan before we begin the main lecture, allow me to set the academic context, everyone. In pengantar ilmu komunikasi, we learn foundational concepts such as communication process, symbols and meaning, perception, intercultural communication, of course, and media and communication effect. Often this concept may feel theoretical, yeah. Then, however, what we are discussing today is a living laboratory and the daily interaction of Gen Z across Indonesia and Malaysia through namely TikTok, Instagram, X, or YouTube, online games, memes maybe, yeah, and digital communities are real examples of how communication theories operate in contemporary settings. Hari ini teman-teman kita akan melihat bagaimana konsep dan teori komunikasi tidak hanya hidup di buku teks atau di buku ajar saja, tapi juga di kolom komentar, di ruang digital kita, di video-video pendek, dan ruang platform lain yang kita akses setiap hari. Dan sebelum sampai kepada memperkenalkan narasumber kita hari ini, let me share a very current and relatable digital phenomenon. Teman-teman, Bapak Ibu semua, recently TikTok has been filled with videos showing Malaysian student speaking Indonesian fluently. Ya, ada yang tahu itu ya teman-teman ya videonya. Even in casual, everyday conversation. For some Malaysian netizens, this sparked concerns about cultural and language influence. But while many Indonesian netizens view it as a natural outcome of social media exposure, such as the music and digital entertainment that easily across border. Judika famous in Malaysia ya, Dr. Rakib ya. And align perfectly with our theme, Gen Z Intercultural Flow, the dynamics of Indonesia-Malaysia cross-cultural communication on digital platform. So I encourage all students to listen not only as an audience, but as a critical observers, connect what you hear with communication concept you have learned in class. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Muhammad Rakib Muhammad Sofyan. Assalamualaikum, Dokter.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih, Ibu.
Wishing you a speedy recovery, Dr. Rakib.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, before we begin the main session, I'd love to share a short introduction about you with our audience. Okay, Bapak
Yes,
Ibu,
please.
teman-teman semuanya, Dr. Rakib is the senior lecturer at the Faculty of Leadership and Management in University Science Islam Malaysia atau USIM. He is an academic, former journalist, and media practitioner with extensive experience in journalism, media studies, and digital communication. His teaching and research focus on journalism, media ethics, representation of Islam in media, and political communication, as well as emerging issues related to AI and media innovation. Jadi pas banget hari ini beliau hadir mengisi berbagi pengalaman dan ilmunya bersama kita semua. Dan beliau juga bukan saja seorang pensyarah, ya pensyarah itu dosen teman-teman, tapi juga penggiat media yang aktif dan berpengalaman luas dalam konteks komunikasi di Malaysia. Jadi teman-teman silakan disimak baik-baik paparan dari Dr. Rakib. Teman-teman bisa langsung gunakan fitur chat untuk menuliskan pertanyaan atau tanggapan ya. Jadi oke, Dr. Rakib, thank you very much for being with us today. Kindly note
Thank you
that
so
your
much.
presentation time is scheduled for 30 minutes, and without further ado,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته and a very good evening to all the participants, to all the students First of all, thank you so much to Ibu Rizki, my good friend from Indonesia. Salam also to Bapak Hidayat, Ibu Dian, and all to docents, to all the lecturers of Tempo, Polytechnic Tempo. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for inviting me for this international collaboration. Um, if I may to share some context, I have contacted Ibu Rizki to have this collaboration because we already have this MOU. So I think it's very important for us to have some activities to be done not only this year but hopefully for the next 2-3 years, inshallah. And I think will be the first stepstone for us, batu loncatan. Kalau di Malaysia ni kita panggil batu loncatan. This will be the first program, and hopefully we will do more programs after this one very good activity. Maybe insyaAllah after this I will invite Ibu Rizki or Bapak Hidayat or Ibu Dian, or other docents, come to Malaysia, come to USIM, and from there we can have more activities with the students. Maybe we have this exchange students program or exchange lecturers program, and from there we can learn, and we can know each other more in terms of how we can collaborate in terms of these two universities, Polytechnic Tempo and also USIM. And also thank you so much because today I told Ibu Rizki saya agak demam hari ni, I'm a bit not feeling well, but somehow this is I cannot lose this opportunity to have this collaboration with Polytechnic Tempo. Ini satu peluang yang sangat besar untuk saya dan saya tidak mahu ketinggalan untuk bersama-sama Polytechnic Tempo because Polytechnic Tempo is one of our collaborators from Indonesia that the MOU has been accepted. So saya perlu menghormati tanggungjawab ini dan insyaAllah lah saya harap, I hope this collaboration will be better in the future insyaAllah ya. So terima kasih banyak-banyak kepada semua dosen dan juga pada Ibu Rizki terutamanya kerana menjadikan program hari ini satu program yang menjadi nyata lah ya. You have realized this initiation for us. Thank you so much. So can you all, insyaAllah, the team, can you share the slides, please? Okay, thank you so much. So will be our topic for today, Gen Z Intercultural Flow, Indonesia-Malaysia Cross-Cultural Communication on Digital Platforms. So this topic I think is very important because right now every one of us, we are using our social media, especially the Gen Z. I don't know because I think me myself, Ibu Rizki, and also all the docents, pensyarah-pensyarah ini ataupun the lecturers, they are all not Gen Z, Ibu Rizki. Ibu Gen apa? Gen A?
Zalfa.
Alpha. So most of us, most of the students, I think they are all Gen Z. So the Pak Hidayat, saya, Ibu Dian, Ibu Rizki, and all other lecturers maybe Gen Y lah kot, or maybe earlier. So I think this is a very important topic because all of us right now, we are using social media, especially the Gen Z. They cannot live without social media. Not only Gen Z lah, me myself. If I'm too busy today in my everyday life, sometimes I can without watching or without scrolling my TikTok, but I see the Gen Z, they cannot live without social media. So this topic is very important for us to explore and to know more about this topic. Okay, next. Okay, this is briefly about myself. So I'm currently a lecturer in USIM, University of Science Islam Malaysia. So I can say that my topic is all about my expertise in journalism, media studies, and also representation of Islam. So inshallah, I hope one day you can come to USIM, and maybe one or two of my friends here who maybe you would like to continue your S2 or your masters. Please come to USIM. Please consider USIM as one of your choices because right now I have around 20. Sorry, not 20. I have around 2 PhD students and several students in the master's program. So I hope you can consider USIM. You can come and we can have more discussions, and inshallah I can be your supervisor for your PhD, inshallah. Yeah. All right, next.
Okay, copy that, Doctor.
Okay, so why is this topic matters? Because I think Malaysia and Indonesia are culturally close yet socially complex. We are usually we call ourselves as adik-beradik. And yes, I have several. I can say that I can say proudly I have several of my good brothers and sisters in Indonesia. I think Ibu Rizki also know. I have known Ibu Rizki and his husband Mas Poncho for a very long time. And I also know several of Indonesian friends from Indonesia. So I can say that we are very close, with each other. We also, I mean, not only in terms of personal hubungan or relationship, but also I think in other sports also we are very close, in terms of football, takraw, and maybe we have this right now. We are very popular with this boxing, beyond and everything. We are getting closer and closer. And yeah, even though we are culturally close, but socially we are quite complex. We have different backgrounds, we have different cultures, adat yang berbeza. So this is why this topic is very important, especially between Malaysia and also Indonesia. Next, Gen Z interacts daily across borders via digital platform. As I mentioned to you, every day Gen Z, they are using their digital platforms. As I mentioned just now, we cannot live. I mean, not only Gen Z, even me, Gen Y, we cannot live without. Sometimes we cannot live without the internet or the social media. And number three, internal communication now happens in public online spaces. Yeah. So most of us, because just now I really agree, I really concur with what Ibu Rizki has mentioned just now. How nowadays people can speak fluently in terms of the language because of just because of they watch social media every day. Yeah, right now I have not my siblings but my nephews and my nieces. Yeah, they can speak fluently in Indonesian language and also English language because they watch YouTube every day. They watch YouTube in English and they watch YouTube in Indonesian language. My nephew, a 6-year-old boy, he can speak very good Indonesian language. I said, hey, how come you can speak very good Indonesian language? Because you don't have any Indonesian friends. He told me because he watch YouTube every day that using that and that particular videos they are using language in Indonesian language. So I think wow, yeah, that's how right now our minds they can develop by actually watching and also they are consuming all the products from and each country. But I believe also some of our Indonesian friends they can speak bahasa Malaysia because all of you I mean you are very popular with Upin Ipin, betul tak? Upin Ipin. Semua pernah dengar Upin Ipin?
Favorite.
Pernah, Prof.
Saya pasti ramai sudah dengar
Of course.
Upin Ipin.
Saya temannya Mail.
Pinipin.
Betul gitu ya.
Betul kan. So everyone knows about Upin Ipin, and that's how this intercultural communication can they can penetrate our life and also how they can develop our minds. I have several friends from Indonesia. When they come to Malaysia, they went and also visit this Leskopek. Leskopek is the company that produce all this Upin Ipin. They would like to know more how Upin Ipin can make money in Indonesia. All right. So this is why I always encourage my students and also my friends between Malaysia and Indonesia. Let us embrace the culture and embrace the product. This is, I mean, when we have this, sharing between our culture, our products, our film or our songs, this is not actually a place for us to have conflicts, but this is actually a place for us to share these cultural products, and we make a meaningful relationship with by using these products. Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay, what is this? Because when Ibu Rizki come up with this idea for me to explain about intercultural communication flow, so what it is, So intercultural communication flow is the process of exchanging messages and meaning between people from different cultural backgrounds, focusing on bridging gaps. This is the keyword. We want to bridging the gaps. Kita mahu menghubungkan dua entity yang berbeza caused by varied beliefs, values, behaviors, and also communication styles, to build understanding, reduce conflict, and foster cooperation in a globalized world requiring cultural sensitivity and adaptation. So this is why intercultural communication flow, this is why this topic is very important, because between our two countries, Malaysia and Indonesia, we have a lot of problems. Sometimes not only because of sometimes we quarrel or we fight because of rendang. Who owns the rendang? Who owns the batik? Who owns who owns this language and that and blah blah blah. But we have also sometimes we have also sometimes conflicts in terms of borders. Yeah, whose island is this? Whose island is this? When I watch football, sometimes when Malaysia, when we have these matches between Malaysia and also Indonesia, sometimes, every kind of languages come out. Konoha lah, Melayu dash lah. So these kind of words, sometimes can also hurt us. So that is why cultural communication flow is very important for us to explore between these two countries and how we can come up with a solution, to have a better understanding of both countries. Because as I mentioned to you, Indonesia is my, I can say Indonesia is my, Malaysia and Indonesia, we have this adik-beradik, siblings, siblings relationship. Yeah, when Indonesia has problems, I usually see the Malaysians will willingly to go there and help. Yeah, even though right now, for example, right now we have, I heard that Aceh and also some parts of Sumatra, they have this problem with this flood, and I can see a lot of Malaysians, they trying to help, but somehow there is politics involved. So I don't want to discuss more on that, but somehow we are trying to help, and also because I believe we are all most of us, we are all Muslims, and we would like to help our brothers and sisters in Islam in also Indonesia. Yeah, so this is the definition of what is intercultural communication flow. Okay, next. Okay, key elements. Yeah, the key elements of the flow. Number one, the sender or receiver interaction. Individuals from distinct cultures send and interpret messages, but cultural filters, norms, and values heavily influence encoding and decoding. Yes, as I mentioned to you, sometimes Malaysia and Indonesia, we have different backgrounds. We understand about something in a very different way because we have our own cultures and you have your own cultures. And Indonesia itself, I understand you have a lot of what we call it, suku-suku dan adat-adat yang pelbagai. Yeah? When I went to Bali, they have their own cultures. When I went to Jakarta, very different. When I went to Semarang, very different. When I went to Yogyakarta, very different. So Indonesia also, I can understand you have different background, different cultures, different adat. So when we have these differences, we should always try to come up with consensus. Okay, differences shouldn't be the point for us to quarrel, but differences actually should be our consensus to make one consensus. Yeah. Second, verbal and non-verbal cues include spoken words, but crucially also body language, gestures, social etiquette, which vary dramatically across cultures. Number three, cultural filters. Each person's worldview, shaped by their culture, nationality, identity, gender, affects how they perceive and also understand messages. And the last one, context and also interpretation. Understanding the cultural context is vital. What's polite in our culture might be rude in another. Yeah, because I believe later I will discuss. There are several words that may be used widely in Indonesia, but it is not appropriate to use it in Malaysia. Yeah, and sometimes maybe it is okay for you to say one thing here and there in Indonesia, but maybe not in Malaysia. Yeah, in terms of attire, maybe that is good for you. It's okay for you to wear some kind of costumes in Indonesia, but it's not in Malaysia. So it's also vice versa lah. Vice versa meaning sama juga lah. Maybe what is okay in Malaysia, not necessarily okay in Indonesia. So this is how we should always try to find out how can we improve this interrelationship. Yeah. Okay. Next. So, what is the purpose and goals? Yeah, what is the purpose of we learning, or what is the purpose of we knowing this intercultural communication flow? Number one, we want to build relationships. Yeah, develop social connection across cultures. I purposely choose this picture. This picture, I think symbolically right now showing us about how Malaysia and Indonesia relationship. We are very calm. We are very harmonious actually. Physically we are harmonious. Yeah, but in digital platforms is a different story. Yeah, sometimes we are quarreling about something that is very, 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 very for me remeh temeh lah. Very remeh temeh. I can say is very it's not a very important problem. Yeah, but in digital platforms, sometimes it can be a crisis when we use it in a very bad manner. Number one. Number two, to prevent conflict, because we would like to avoid misunderstandings and also clashes. Yeah, that is why it's very important for us to know about intercultural communication flow. Number three, to enhance cooperation. Yeah, support global business, education, and also international efforts. So that's why I think, if I'm not mistaken, last 2-3 months there was a crisis in Indonesia. I couldn't remember what is it, but I think it's because of the protests done by the citizens of Indonesia. Yeah, protest done by Indonesian citizens because of this. The ahli parliament, when they were, I mean, when Prabowo, announced about the kenaikan gaji, if I'm not mistaken, some of them, they were dancing in the parliament, and so they were protest done by the rakyat. I can see that, some of the Malaysians, they were sending, money, they were sending also food from Grab, yeah, to show their solidarity with the citizens of Indonesia. I don't know either you still remember or not. Yeah. And number four is about increased self-awareness. Yeah. Understand your own cultural biases by examining others. Yeah, others. So that is why I think this is a very important topic for us to understand, because these four things, yeah, to build relationship, to prevent conflict, to enhance cooperation, and also increase self-awareness are very important for both countries, especially Malaysia and also Indonesia. Okay, so next. Okay, what's need for success? Okay, to be able to make sure what we intend to have this, to achieve these goals. Number one, what we need is cultural sensitivity and awareness. Yeah, we should always try to recognize and respecting cultural differences. For example, I see one place in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, in Danau Toba, they have a very unique adat. If I'm not mistaken, they preserve the what we call it. They preserve the corpse, yeah, the mayat kan. I think this is a very unique feature that we have in some part of Indonesia. And as Malaysian, we should respect and we should embrace, and we should see this as a very unique perspective. Yeah. That's one example, number one. Number two, adaptability, adjusting your communication style to align with others' cultural expectation. Or we call it as mutual adaptation. For example, when I go to Indonesia, I will try my best to adapt to their language. I believe the same thing from the Indonesian friends. I have Mas Poncho, for example. I still remember when he was in Malaysia. Mas Poncho, the husband of Ibu Rizki. I still remember when he was in Malaysia. He can speak Bahasa Malaysia fluently because I still remember he said, because some of the, for example, when we went to the restaurants, kita pergi makan-makan kan, and they will say, "Oh, Mas Poncho, you are not sounding like Indonesian anymore. You are sounding like Malaysian." Because I understand, because Mas Poncho or Dr. Poncho right now in Mercubuana, Dr. Poncho would like to adapt to the culture and to adapt to the language that we are using in Malaysia. Because Mas Poncho, Dr. Poncho, and also me myself, we did our PhD in USM. Okay, so that's how we adapt. That's why I think mostly also the Indonesians, when they come to Malaysia, they would like to adapt themselves to the culture, to the background, so they use Bahasa Malaysia. Okay, even my students right now, we have several Indonesian students in USIM right now. When we talk to them after 2-3 years, I can see that, wow, you can speak Bahasa Malaysia already lah. So it's the same for me. If I go to Indonesia, I will try my best to adapt to your culture, to your language. Yeah, and I believe if I stay there for 1 year or 2 years, inshallah, I can speak better than you. Okay, that's a joke lah. Yeah, but I believe that. I believe that. Number three, empathy. Trying to see things from another cultural perspective. In essence, the flow isn't just about talking, it's about navigating the integrated layers of culture to ensure shared meaning and positive interaction. Yeah. So empathy is about, we should feel the same about, for example, if Malaysia or Indonesia, we are in crisis, we should feel empathy towards others. Yeah. For example, right now, Aceh is having a very big problem of the floods. Previously in 2004, they had this tsunami. Yeah. So we as Malaysians, we should also feel empathy to them. Yeah, I believe many of Malaysians, we feel empathy for them. Yeah, for example, when in Jakarta also when they had this crisis of this, parliament protest and everything, I usually contact my friends there. What's happening in Indonesia? Are you okay? What can I help? Yeah, so this kind of thing we should feel empathy towards each other. So this is what we need for success of these goals that we would like to achieve from the intercultural communication flow. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, I would like to ask, where do you most often encounter Indonesian Malaysians online? Maybe I can ask the students which social media that you use the most. Guys, may I know, my dear students?
Siapa
Apakah
teman-teman?
social media paling banyak digunakan oleh kamu semua?
Apa?
Sorry?
Apa saja teman-teman yang sering
Instagram,
digunakan?
Mister.
Instagram,
Instagram sama TikTok, Mister.
Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram.
Instagram, TikTok, sama Instagram. Betul? Betul, Ibu?
Ya,
Betul, Mister.
ya.
Yeah,
Mostly ya,
it's also
mostly.
mostly, yeah, right now. That is why we call as Gen Z, Ibu. Because I have done also a research in Malaysia, that also we did a research on how the Gen Z, how they use their social media. And one of the questions we asked, which social media that they use the most. And mostly in Malaysia, they say they use TikTok. Number one, TikTok. Number two, Instagram. And Facebook is the last one. And there was what we call it, there was a research has been done, and one of the researchers in Malaysia, we found that, mostly the 40 years old and above, they still use Facebook as their main social media. So when they did this research, they also found that mostly the Gen Z, they are being more supportive. Gen Z ini di TikTok dan juga Instagram, mereka ini lebih supportive, ya. But the old generation, the 40 years old and above, when they use Facebook, they are being more bitter. Mereka ini jadi lebih bitter lah. Apa tu orang panggil bitter bahasa Melayunya? Mereka ini jadi lebih ganas, pemarah, tidak puas hati. Kebanyakannya di Facebook. So I'm not saying the old generation, they are all bitter, but I can say that this is from a research. I'm not saying my own personal. They say that the Gen Z, mostly when they use TikTok and Instagram, they are being more, polite in terms of the interaction. They are being more supportive of the videos or content that have been produced. But somehow the users in Facebook, they are being more bitter, as I mentioned. So they said that mostly the Facebook users, one, they are older generation, and somehow they are being more harsh in their comments. So I don't know what's happening to for me, it's a good sign, meaning that the Gen Z, they are using, the social media in a better way lah, instead of our old generation here. Yeah. So I tried to use myself. Saya cuba untuk menggunakan Facebook, Instagram dan TikTok sekarang ini. Dan saya juga ada TikTok, ya, ibu-ibu dan anak-anak sekalian. Kalau mau follow saya boleh. Nanti kita tengok nanti Rakib Sofian RS. Ya. Kamu boleh follow hari ini pun boleh. Tapi tidak mengapa. Bukan sekarang lah. Nanti saya bukan mahu cari populariti, ya. Saya mahu mengajar sekarang. Ya. So, I can see that yes, in TikTok they are being more, polite. They are more encouraging words. But somehow in Facebook, I don't know, sometimes the comments are very harsh. So we have to be careful of this. Maybe right now the Gen Z, you should always, and the Gen Alpha and everything, you should continue this type of attitude. Ya. Bagi saya ini bagus. Ya. You should always try to be polite. You should try to always inspire others. But I'm not saying all, but yes, this is the current happening that we are having right now. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so who is Malaysian Gen Z online? Right now, I would like to focus a bit more on the Malaysian context. Number one, mostly the Gen Z in Malaysia, we are using multilingual and comfortable with code switching, meaning that we are, if all of you, if you are familiar with Malaysians, we can use both languages quite well, Bahasa Malaysia and also Indonesia. And sometimes we can also use Indonesian language. It's very common among us. Number two, sometimes the Malaysian Gen Z, we use strong use of humor, sarcasm, and memes in our posting. Yeah, you can see a lot of memes that have been used. I can show you later. And number three, high sensitivity to religion, ethnicity, and morality. Yeah, meaning that in Malaysia, you can say anything about others. You can say anything about rendang. You can say anything about batik. You can say anything about whatever lah. But when you touch about religion, be careful. In Malaysia, we are, I can say the Gen Z, they are being very, protected, protectful of the religion. Yeah, when you say about Islam, in Malaysia, mostly the majority, they are being very sensitive about Islam, religion, and also ethnicity. For example, also, since in Malaysia we have these royalties, yeah, kita ada raja-raja dan sultan. Don't touch about sultan, yeah, because some of the Gen Z, they are being very, what we call it, loyal to the sultan. So do not touch about sultan in Malaysia. Okay, next. Okay, so platforms to shape communication. Number one, as I mentioned to you, you can use TikTok for emotional and fast pace. Yeah, you should know which platform that you can use if you would like to come out with your product. Number one, if you want to come out with an emotional and also fast paced product, you can use TikTok because TikTok, the videos usually are not long. Number two, Instagram. If you would like to show more about visual and also lifestyle focus, you can use Instagram, meaning that you can post more pictures. And then we have also Twitter or X. Usually we go for political and also confrontational content. And the last one, YouTube, for longer and also more analytical discussion. So right now, most of us, we go for TikTok because we know the Gen Z, they like to use emotional and also fast-paced videos. So if you would like to gauge, if you would like to, if you would like to target, if you would like to have the target audience, especially in terms of the Gen Z, you would like to get to know more about them, you should go for TikTok. Yeah. So right now in Malaysia, right now in Malaysia, for example, the politicians, yeah. If I don't know in Indonesia, but in Malaysia, right now, if you are 18, ya, jika anda berumur 18 tahun, kamu sudah boleh mengundi. What about in Indonesia? What is the minimum age for you to mengundi, to vote?
In Indonesia, 17 years old.
17.
So we get identity card.
Oh, wow. No, for you to vote in the election, how old are you should be?
Yeah, 17.
Yes,
17.
it's 17.
Okay, good. Because
Yes.
previously in
Above
Malaysia,
17, doctor.
okay, in Malaysia previously you should be 21. But right now, the last in 2022, they have approved this new regulation in Parliament. When you achieve 18 years old, yeah, you can already vote in Malaysia. Okay, so right now the government, when they have this new regulation, when you are 18 you can vote. So right now when they want to get this, the younger millennials votes, so they produce more videos in TikTok. Previously the government, they don't use TikTok so widely, but somehow right now I can see they are making this movement, yeah, to come out with videos in TikTok to explain about the government policies and everything, so they are moving towards that. And so I think right now we also right now, not only in Malaysia but also in Indonesia, when we want to have this, reconciliation, or we want to make peace between the two countries, the government or the public or the netizens, we should produce more videos in TikTok. Because right now, the older people, yes, in Facebook, we can focus on the other things. Maybe we should write more. We should explain more in Facebook. But in TikTok, we should produce more short videos to make people to understand more between Malaysia and also Indonesia. Okay, next. Okay, so for the next, this one, yeah, the popular culture flow from Indonesia and Malaysia. This is the Malaysian context, as mentioned by Ibu Rizky just now. Yeah, in Malaysia we having this high consumption of Indonesian music and creators. Yeah, so for example, in Malaysia is a very popular song. Ta bola bola bale, so I'm listening to this music every day when when I'm doing my exercise, my my morning routine. I will listen to this song. Okay, so and also another song from I couldn't remember, but this Tabola Bali is very popular lah in Malaysia. Not only this song, other song from Ungu, from Judika, from all this. The Indonesian cultural products in Malaysia, I can say they are very popular in Malaysia. Yeah, in Malaysia, I think only Siti Nurhaliza can make money or can make names in Indonesia. Is it correct, Ibu Rizky?
Absolutely. So with
Only Siti Nurhaliza, yeah.
Siti Nurhaliza and yeah, Siti Nurhaliza.
But in Malaysia, I can give you a lot of names. Ungu, Sheila on
Ungu.
7, Judika,
Yes.
Tabola Bale. I could not
Dewa,
remember the
Dewa,
name.
Dewa. How about Dewa?
Yes, Dewa 19.
Mhm.
Apa ni? Kumpulan nasyid pun banyak. Meaning that the Indonesian
Oh, okay.
cultural products, we
Yes.
can consume them easily in Malaysia. I mean, for me myself, I always told my family members, and now my family members all follow me. When I watch Netflix, I will not watch Malaysian movies. I will only watch Indonesian movies. Ibu mertua apa? Ibu mertua apa ni? Semualah. Ibu mertua apa itu? Ipar itu maut dan
Yes.
sebagainya lah. And
Yes.
other types of
Oh, I remember.
film.
Walid.
I only watch
I
Indonesian.
I
Sorry?
watch Walid. I've been
Walid.
watching Walid.
No, thank you, Ibu, for the response. But what I'm trying to tell you, this is the Indonesian films we can get easily in Malaysia, and somehow I can see that we can learn about the background, we can learn about the cultures that we have in Indonesia when we watch these movies. I mean, I'm maybe a bit biased because I've already friends from Indonesia, but somehow I know mostly the majority of the people when they watch Indonesian movies, they can learn a lot from the Indonesian culture, from the movies. Number one. Number two, Indonesian slang normalized among Malaysian Gen Z. Right now, I can see, I mean, including that I mentioned to you just now, my nephew, he always use the word anjay, anjay, yuk, yuk, mantap, mantap. So all of this slang previously are not used by the Malaysian Gen Z, but right now I can see a lot of these words have been used. Even though, enjoy maybe is not a really good word, but somehow, I don't know, maybe they learn from the videos. That's why the popular culture or the cultural products that being consumed by the Gen Z, we should always try to monitor. And the last one, it creates familiarity, but also misunderstanding. This is what I'm trying to focus in the next slide. Okay, next. Okay, from the next slide, I can see here language similarity, but somehow not a same meaning. So shared language creates false familiarity. Words carry different emotional weight, and many conflicts are semantic, not intentional. If I can show you later, there are several words that have been used by for example, anjay. It's a very I can say it's a very casual word to be used among the Gen Z, but somehow when they use it wrongly, or maybe they use it anjing, anjing is I mean, sometimes it can also cause conflict in different ways. I will show you after this slide. I will show you several words that are being properly used in Indonesia, but somehow it's not proper to use in Malaysia. Okay, next. Okay, this slide, if you see here, these are several words. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not very appropriate for me to show this, but I think we should discuss this. For example, this word, buto, punggung, buntut, and then we have this gampang, pantat. These are several words that have been used widely in Indonesia, but they have different interpretations in Malaysia and also Indonesia. So if we use it, without knowing the context, if we use it without knowing the culture in my country, especially in Malaysia, it can cause conflict by cultural context, not hostility. Okay, if you go to Malaysia, if you use this word, for example, butuh, it's very a vulgar word. Satu perkataan yang sangat, I can say, it's not accepted in Malaysia. Okay, because it's not a good word lah for if you go to Malaysia. So these are 5 examples that I can give you in terms of the language that you should be careful. And again, not only to these 5 words, what I'm trying to tell you here, in Malaysia and Indonesia, we have different background, different context, different location, different way of how we interact. So one of the ways for us to always have this cultural communication, what we call it, to have this consensus in our cultural communication, we should always be mindful of this, the different cultures that we have in both countries. So this is one of the examples that I can give you lah. Okay, next. Okay, so digital conflict and sensitivities, yeah, as I mentioned to you here, number one, cultural ownership and also nation pride. We usually fight because of rendang. Okay, who owns the rendang? Yeah, who owns the batik? The batik should be from whom? Sometimes we have this also conflict between who should own this tarian, tarian zapin, for example. Who should own this and that? So sometimes this can also cause digital conflict. I still remember last 2-3 years, when we had this confrontation, and we had several of the Indonesian call us Malaysia. When I went to, for example, when I went to Yogyakarta, I went to UMY, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. So I went to go and find some t-shirts in Malioboro. Yeah. So when I went to Malioboro, I found this t-shirt. This t-shirt, this t-shirt, one very nice t-shirt actually, but somehow it stated there, Malaysia. So I'm very surprised. Wow, what kind of t-shirt is this? Yeah. So again, this can cause conflict because sometimes this discourse is happening in the digital platform. Yeah. Number one. Number two, religion and also moral boundaries. Yeah. Maybe in some parts of Indonesia, you can accept of this, holding dogs, yeah, publicly. In Malaysia, we are very sensitive for Muslims to touch a dog or even to carry a dog. Because this is this is not common among nations. Is it true, Ibu Rizky, in Indonesia? In some parts of Indonesian Muslims can touch dog, is it, Ibu Rizky?
No, I don't think so, Doctor. It's
Okay.
probably
Not in every part or what?
no,
Maybe we can discuss.
It depends on their beliefs.
Individual.
Yes, individual. Their beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for example, did you have this sort of like not convocation? Sometimes I can see that there are many Muslims. They come to one place. They had sort of like an event,
Yes.
and this event they can bring all their dogs, especially, and it also includes Muslims. Is it true?
Some, yes.
Yeah, because when I watch, one of my students, he's a Jakartarian. He's from Jakarta. So I can see that he went to an event. Then this event, everybody can touch dog, including Muslims.
Yeah, everybody can touch dog, but sometimes, however, it depends on their beliefs. Islam in
Okay.
Indonesia, being a part aliran.
Okay.
Yes.
Ya. There are berbagai aliran ya. So ada aliran
Yes.
yang benarkan untuk
Yes.
pegang in public.
Ya, betul.
Okay.
Bahkan
Alright.
sekarang
So
pun
I
juga
think
ada di
almost the
public
same
area.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Because in Malaysia, we had this event before, if I'm not mistaken, in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. So in this event, they were trying to expose more about dogs to the Malay Muslim. Somehow, it was condemned. It was being condemned. It was being criticized, and it has been a public what we call it. It has been a public contestation. It has been a public debate. Either this can be done or not. Yeah? So after that event, there has been no event that that do it in public. So no public. Malay Muslims basically you cannot touch the dog publicly. Okay, even though you do it in a closed event, still cannot. So this is some of the problems that we have and I believe in Indonesia we have also the same problems And then number 3, sports and also online rivalry. Yeah, I believe when it comes to football, both fanatics from Malaysia and Indonesia, we usually have this problem. Yeah, we always use certain words that can hurt our friends from Indonesia and also Malaysia. I give you one example. Next, I don't know either you can see from here or not, because recently we have this bygone. This is actually an event between Malaysian and also Indonesian boxers. You can see here. You can see here one comment from Dani here. Mana tak menang, juri pengadil semua dari Konoha. So this is one term, for example. Malaysian usually refer to Indonesian as Konoha. Penjual bakso dikutip jadi juri. You see? So these words, they are not use it intentionally. They are not using it without context, because usually Indonesian you are always related to penjual bakso or bakso, so they use it intentionally. For example here, Konoha. So these are words that usually used by Malaysian to make Indonesians hurt. Number 1. Number 2, you see here the next here, you can see here, tukang semen ke jadi juri. because many migrant workers from Indonesia, when they are working here in Malaysia, they use these words, tukang simen. Why they should use this tukang simen as a derogatory word to the Indonesian citizens? Yeah. So you can see here, sometimes it can hurt our people lah, especially in Malaysia and also Indonesia. I show you another example. Next, you can see here. This is, I mean, the one that one I took from TikTok. Next one, next please. Next. Okay, this one I took from Facebook. You can see here, sometimes they use these memes. Yeah? For example here, pedih sial, awas kau Konoha. But somehow it shown a Malaysian, who's crying, because right now in Malaysia we have also this problem of, I believe mostly the Indonesian football fans, they know about this. Yeah, in Malaysia we have this problem of, there are 6 or 7 Latino players, the Latin pemain bola dari Latin ini. So basically their document has been, I can say has been fake lah by the by the football authorization, by the football, the FAM, Football Association of Malaysia. Basically the documents has been fake, and it has been a big problem lah in Malaysia. And also right now the netizens in you can see here in Facebook, they are actually they are bashing lah, the Malaysian football team. Yeah, you can see here, Garuda Kopi Abang India report, woi, Melayu Dash ada bawa Latin, worker dan jadi warga Indonesia here. So they are using, for example, Malaysian, they say Melayu Dash. They are using all this. Or they call here Malaya boleh. Salah, Malaysia boleh. So these are some of the words that have been used by the netizens. Yeah. So I'm not saying this to show to create any conflicts, but somehow to show you the examples, how the netizens, they use the words that can hurt our feelings. Okay, next. I would like to show you another example. Religion as an intercultural layer. Shared Islam but different online expressions. The Malaysian context is a bit institutional and regulated discourse, while Indonesia is diverse and expressive voices. So I would like to show you one example. I have done one research about mentega terbang. Okay. Sorry. Anyone would like to ask question? Sorry. Ada question ke Ibu?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Doctor.
sorry.
So you
Okay,
can
so
unmute.
mentega terbang. I show you one example. I have done a research with the UMY team. So inshallah, I hope Ibu Rizki and also the other docents who are still in this forum, we can come up with matching grant after this, inshallah, if we have the opportunity. So for example, me myself, the USIM team, we had this matching grant with UMY. So we have done this one research, how the Indonesian and also Malaysian students, how they perceive this Mentega Terbang film. So just to share you the result. So Mentega Terbang is actually a movie that discuss about Islam, and also it also discuss about Hinduism. Okay, Hinduism, incarnation, Christianity. So this is a very controversial film. Somehow, when I show this to the Indonesian and Malaysians, we have different answers. We have different results. The Malaysian, the Malaysian students, when they watch this movie, they said they are feeling quite scared, takut, because this movie, they said, is quite, it can threaten their akidah, it can threaten their faith. But in Indonesia, when we give this film to the Indonesian to watch, the Indonesian, they said, wow, this movie is very good because it can, it can be it can be a forum, or it can be a place for people to discuss more about a religion. You can see here what I'm trying to tell you. The Indonesian, they are being quite open in terms of this video. In terms of this film, the Malaysian, they are being quite strict. Why? All of this because we have different background, number one, and also because in Malaysia, the institutional and regulated discourse is quite being controlled by the authority. For example, this film Mentega Terbang, it has been streamed in the internet only for 1 month, I think. After that, there were netizens who make the complaint, and then this film has been taken out from the internet. So Di Malaysia ini Islam itu sangat kuat lah. Maksud saya di sana di Islam ni sangat ada authority yang menjaga. Ya, we call it as JAKIM, Jabatan Agama Kemajuan Islam Malaysia. So when this film has caused a lot of problems, so the JAKIM has taken out this film from the internet. Yeah, so this is how I think we can be different, but somehow there are also similarities. Yeah, in several other aspects. Yeah, so but in terms of this film, many of Indonesian thinks that this film is okay, shouldn't be a problem, but somehow in Malaysia they are being quite strict, they are being quite conservative. They say that this film is very dangerous because it can threaten their faith. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, when we call about identity, when we discuss about identity in online, sometimes the Malaysian, the Malaysian context, usually when we comment about something, sometimes we refer us as Malaysian. Yeah, sometimes we refer us as a Muslim, as an Islam. Sometimes when we discuss about global Gen Z identity, for example, in the Palestinian cause, sometimes we refer as a humanitarian. And sometimes we also discuss about something, we refer us as a Melayu. Yeah. So in online, I can say that the Gen Z in Malaysia, sometimes they usually use these 4 identities when they make comments or when they put their comments in the social media. Sometimes they say they are Malaysian. Sometimes they comment as a Muslim. Sometimes they comment as a global identity. For example, in the Palestinian cause, they say that we are human. We should always support for humanitarian. And that's why sometimes they comment based on their ethnic. As a Malay, what should they do? What should they not do? For example. Okay, next. So, this is a reflective question, yeah. So when you comment online, which identity speaks first? Yeah? So you as an Indonesian or a Malaysian, we should always try to ask ourselves, when we make this comment, are we talking this as a Malaysian or Indonesian? Or are we making this comment as a Muslim? Are we making this comment as an ASEAN youth? Or we make this comment as from our ethnic? Yeah, because at the end of the day, when we want to make any comments, we usually, the Gen Z and also I think the Gen Y also, sometimes we also related to our identity. Yeah. For example, I can give you one example. For example, when you see someone in Malaysia, sometimes there is a TikTok video or Instagram video. Yeah, maybe this particular woman, sometimes she likes to wear a bit, sexy t-shirts or attire. Sometimes they will say, as a Muslim, I have done my part. So please, you choose a better t-shirt, choose a better attire, yeah, cover your aura. When you make this type of comment, sometimes they refer them as a Muslim. Okay, so I hope you understand. Yeah. So sometimes this always happen in the comment section. Okay. Next. A little bit more, a little bit more. The key challenges. Okay, the key challenges. What are the key challenges when we want to have this intercultural communication flow? Number 1, algorithms amplify outrage. Yeah, platforms like TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, they prioritize content that triggers anger, shock, or moral emotion because it generates more engagement. Yeah, it's a very common in the media industry. Yeah, the more sensationalized the issue, the better. We can make more engagement when the issue is more sensationalized. Number 1. Number 2, loss of context in viral content. When content travels across borders, original context is removed, but interpretation remains. Yeah, sometimes we do not understand the context. As I mentioned to you many times before, we have different contexts, different backgrounds. So to understand a problem, to understand an issue, we should always understand the context. Okay. Number 3, performative nationalism. National pride is performed publicly to gain likes, validation, or social capital. Yeah. In some countries, yeah, I don't want to mention, maybe not in Malaysia or not Indonesia, but in some countries, for example, if I can say UK or US, sometimes they use this performative nationalism for them to get votes. For example, sometimes the candidates, in UK sometimes or in US, they use Islam as the main weapon. They said they will throw out Muslims and Islam from their country. just because they want to get votes. Yeah, sometimes they use this performative nationalism lah, because in some research that I've read, sometimes they say that the Muslim and Islam values are not compatible with the Western countries. So some of the candidates, they use this technique or they use this performative nationalism to gain votes, especially during the election. Okay, next, moving forward. Okay, moving forward, what should we do? Number one, pause before reacting. If you as an Indonesian or me myself as a Malaysian, when we want to comment anything in the social media, pause before reacting. Think first. Validate first. Yeah, before you want to make any comments. Yeah. Me myself, right now when I'm getting older, I'm getting more wiser. Yeah, so I know when I should comment, when I should restrain myself from commenting. Number one. Number two, understand the intent and context. You should always know the context. You should always know. Sometimes people use the rich bait, yeah, to get engagement. Number two. Number three, practice digital empathy. As I mentioned to you, when we have these problems, when we have these conflicts, when we have these disasters, for example, in Malaysia or Indonesia, we should always try to feel empathy of others. And the last one, the strengthen the media literacy. That is why this class is important. When you already learn in this class, you already should have this knowledge of media literacy. Okay, people sometimes they come up with videos, sensationalized videos because they want engagement. So be careful before you make any comments. Think, realize it before you come out with comments. Okay, next. I think another 2 slides, I think. The key takeaways, this is the conclusion. Internal communication is about awareness, not volume. So you should always try to be aware, especially when it comes to the relationship between Malaysia and Indonesia, not only between these two countries, maybe also with other countries. When you want to make any comment, make sure you are aware about the consequences. Yeah. For example, right now we have this ASEAN Games. Yeah, it involves a lot of countries. Philippines, Thailand, yeah, and other ASEAN countries. Be aware of this intercommunication intercultural communication flow. Number one. Number two, the Gen Z, they will shape the future Malaysia and Indonesia relations daily. Yeah, I mean, me myself, I'm already 30 plus years old. Ibu Rizki already 40 plus years old, and others, the docents. You are going to shape our future. Yeah, Prabowo is already 70 plus. Anwar Ibrahim, my prime minister, is already 70 plus. So the future is on your hands. So guys, make sure our country always flourish. Make sure our both countries always in harmonious situation so that we can achieve more success together, inshallah. Yeah. Next, the last slide I would like to show you. So this is only a reflective slide lah for you to see. You can see here. These are some of the pictures. Yeah, that we had this what we call it. We had this. I had a very good relationship with all my Indonesian friends or my Indonesian brothers and sisters. If you can see here, these are all the pictures that we had during my PhD years in USM. Okay, so this beside me here is Mas Poncho or Dr. Poncho here. This is Dr. Yeni from UMY. This is Dr. Rizky Brandana from Mercubuana, and the rest lah, and also my supervisor here, Dr. Azman Azwan Azmawati. Yeah, this will always be my. This experience with the Indonesians will always I cherish. I will always remember, and again, I'm telling you the truth. I always consider Indonesia as my second home. Yeah, many times I have been invited to Indonesia. Almost every year, I went to Indonesia. Yeah, so inshallah next year in the future, inshallah, yeah, I hope I can also invite all of you to come to Malaysia to experience the teaching and learning in Malaysia, and especially in USIM. And inshallah, I will do the same lah with the Indonesia, especially in Polytechnic Tempo, inshallah, in the future, inshallah. Okay, that's all my presentation. The last slide will be the thank you and also question and reflection. Thank you so much, Ibu Rizki. I pass back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Akib. Teman-teman, you can give the big reaction the very, very interactive reaction for Dr. Akib. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I do highlight of your presentation, Dr. Akib, about Islam, between differences between Islam in Indonesia and Malaysia. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Islam in Indonesia, you said is it generally, yes, totally agree. Generally more pluralistic and culturally adaptive, with a strong role played by civil society. And Islam in Malaysia, I thought is more institutionalized and state regulated,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and closely linked into Malay identity. And
Yes, correct.
yes, I think I just remember who else selain Siti Nurhaliza. I think I remember the name, and I think teman-teman juga pasti tahu siapa. Aisar Khalid.
Yes,
Yeah?
Aisar Khalid, a very controversial. I mean, just to give you context, Ibu Rizky,
Oh,
Aisar
okay,
Khalid
okay.
actually, he was very popular in Malaysia, but somehow we
So
think
in
that, you know,
Indonesia also.
but I mean, we in the netizens lah, many
Oh.
say that Aisar Khalid, he's a opportunist.
Oh, okay.
So when
Great.
he cannot make money anymore in Malaysia, so he went to Indonesia.
Oh, okay. That's
So
why
I think right
Puji.
now he's also not get a lot of support from Indonesians, right? I think, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, right now.
Ya, ya, ya. So that's why jelas ya teman-teman, berarti alasannya kenapa Fuji nggak mau ya. Oh, kok jadi ke situ ya?
Aisar Khalid, yes.
Yeah, but I do remember when I interact with Malaysian friends on social media, I feel the language, the humor, or expressions are quite similar. Sometimes we even use the same words, just with the different accents and meaning. First time I go to Malaysia, kakak, menyebut kakak, yes. Itu buat semua orang. Kalau di Jakarta kakak itu ya untuk either itu laki-laki atau perempuan begitu ya.
Iya, betul.
Tapi kalau di Malaysia kakak itu ternyata hanya untuk sebutan orang yang usianya lebih tua dari kita, tapi hanya untuk perempuan. Benar begitu ya, Dr. Akib ya?
Betul. Yes.
Dan untuk laki-laki ya we call abang. And also mungkin juga teman-teman ingat ada viral moment from Malaysian netizen help people in Indonesia by ordering ojek online, ya Grab food remotely, supporting online drivers and people on the streets saat demonstrasi yang lalu, ya on August. No competition, no agenda, just empathy mediated by digital platforms. And I think that's a very good point. The similarity often makes communication feel close, but at the same time, it can also create a misunderstanding when we assume everything is the same. Okay, now I think before we begin, let me highlight another discussion and Q&A session. This session is designed to be interactive. And now, a small reminder before we start, guys, please introduce your name and study program before asking your question, and keep your question concise and focused. Okay, we can see, raise hand, Novena, Hafiz. Oke, silakan. Siapa dulu? Hafiz dulu tadi ya? Farhan dulu ya? Oh, Vena, silakan Vena.
Okay, so good afternoon, Dr. Rakib and everyone. So my name is Vena. I'm a first semester student, media production student at Polytechnic Tempo Jakarta. I think before I start asking my question, I want to give more context, especially because your presentation mentioning about Indonesia pop culture, specifically in music. Me personally, as Indonesian Gen Z, I never heard about Malaysia song before, except the old generation one, for example, Isabella, because my parents sometimes listening to me. But it's very fascinating because it's known Indonesian songs, not only older generation, but also the new one. Especially, I realized that in July 2025, Indonesia making like a concert, namanya itu Latihan Pesta Pora, dan itu termasuk salah satu festival musik terkenal di Indonesia, dan akhirnya mereka buat di Malaysia. Majority penyanyinya itu penyanyi-penyanyi Gen Z asal Indonesia kayak Hindia, Baraswara. Terus yang terbaru juga ada Bernadia yang ternyata viral juga di Malaysia. I think it's very
Yeah.
fascinating because how spread Indonesian songs in Malaysia, meskipun saya sebagai generasi Gen Z tidak pernah mendengarkan kayak artis-artis Malaysia sebelumnya. In what ways do foreign language like Indonesia or bilingual from Indonesia songs help or hinder deep cross-cultural understanding with Malaysia listener? That's the question. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Vena. So you want to answer right now or
I don't know, Ibu, maybe you can collect first.
okay, just we collect first. Okay, then Farhan.
Selamat siang,
Selamat
Cik Ibu.
siang.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Farhan dari program studi produksi media.
Ya.
Di sini tadi kalau nggak salah tuh membahas Gen Z Malaysia yang menggunakan bahasa Indonesia.
Ya.
Nah, beberapa waktu lalu saya melihat video yang berisi tentang seorang guru sedang menilai tugas sekolah muridnya, yang dimana kebanyakan dari muridnya tersebut lebih banyak menggunakan bahasa Indonesia daripada Malaysia. Selain itu, saya juga melihat konten dari akun YouTube Renzu Rokuga dan iStory yang berisi tentang Gen Z Malaysia yang lebih lancar menggunakan bahasa Indonesia. Nah, hal tersebut pasti kayak dipengaruhi sama media sosial Indonesia yang masuk ke Malaysia, ataupun karena kedekatan Indonesia dengan Malaysia. Nah, pertanyaannya, apa dampaknya terhadap pemeliharaan identitas nasional? Karena seperti yang kita tahu bahwa bahasa adalah identitas negara. Kalau anak mudanya
Ya.
lebih sering menggunakan bahasa asing, apakah bahasa Melayu sendiri akan terjaga kelestariannya? Terima kasih.
Wow,
Okay,
very good
national
question.
identity.
I'm impressed.
Okay, thank you, Farhan. Okay, one more question. Anyone? Okay, let's see on the chat room. Adakah teman-teman yang menuliskan di chat? Oh, okay. Okay, let me read it from Zeta. As explained by Dr. Akib in the lecture, many digital conflicts between Indonesia and Malaysia are often triggered by viral content such as music, culture, slang, or cultural claims. Considering that Bahasa Indonesia and Melayu are linguistically very close, why does miscommunication still frequently occur in social media interactions between users from both countries? To what extent are these tensions driven by genuine cultural or linguistic differences? And to what extent are they amplified by social media algorithm and Gen Z distinctive digital communication styles such as irony, humor, and bravery? Okay, Doctor, we have 3 questions. First from Pena, why are Malaysian music and musicians less heard in Indonesia?
Okay, to answer Novena Valdika, thank you so much for the question. Number one, if you ask me why Malaysian songs cannot penetrate Indonesia, I'm not sure, but I don't know because of any regulations have been made by the government. I don't know, but in Malaysia, we can accept Indonesian songs very well. Diterima dengan begitu besar di sini, and I don't think it's a problem because whatever it is, Indonesian songs, they are nice to hear and they are very related to the Bahasa Melayu because I can see that, yeah, mostly the Indonesian songs that are viral in Malaysia, they are using the bahasa Indonesia yang formal, ya, tidak menggunakan bahasa Indonesia yang terlalu bunyi apa ya, yang terlalu mengikut kebudayaan tertentu lah, supaya contohnya apa, bahasa Jawa ataupun bahasa apa tu,
Traditional,
bahasa Jawa lah kan.
traditional
But
language.
yeah, but because mostly the songs that we have in Malaysia from Indonesia, usually they are using the formal language. Ya, bahasanya mudah difaham lah, saya boleh katakan. Okay, so if you ask me here, in what ways do bilingual or code mixed Indonesian songs help or hinder deeper cross-cultural understanding with Malaysian listeners? I can say that the songs lagu-lagu yang dimasukkan ke Malaysia ini, the songs that we are receiving from Indonesia, basically I can say they are actually help, yeah, to deeper understanding, for a deeper understanding of the cross culture, because I can say from the videos that you produce, because usually when you produce the song, you also come up with the videos, right, in the YouTube, for example, yeah, the music videos. So from that music videos, we can understand about the storyline, we can understand about the cultures that we have in the music videos, and sometimes the song also, when they tell a storyline, we can relate, because the Indonesian context and the nation context, as I mentioned just now, we are quite similar, but we can also learn about your context through the song. So if you ask me, through my opinion, not only songs, as I mentioned to you, movies from Indonesia also can help us, the Malaysians, to understand more about your country. Yeah. So again, I don't know, if you ask me why Malaysian products are not really well accepted in Indonesia, I don't know. This question, I think we should also ask the Indonesian media industry. Yeah, why you cannot accept the Malaysian soap operas, for example. Yeah, I think the only that can penetrate your market only Walid, if I'm not mistaken, Walid,
Yes.
and previously Upin Ipin lah, and the rest are not really, you are not really get the popularity in Indonesia. I don't know why, and I think this is actually a good question for us to explore more, ya Ibu. Maybe we can do a research. Why the
Inshallah.
Malaysian products are not really in the Indonesian market. Yeah. But if you ask me the question, either is helping or not the products from Indonesia to in Malaysia to hinder or to help our understanding, I can say that it actually helps for us to understand more about Indonesia, to understand more about your culture, to understand more about your bahasa, your language, and to understand more about your relationship, yeah, between one another. Because for example, when I saw the video on Tabola Ballet, for example, yeah, the Tabola Ballet video, music video, yeah, the song is very catchy. It shows really well about the relationship generally between the people of Indonesia in that particular video. And when this song comes in the mall, or in other, usually in the mall lah, yeah, I can see that many people was like, oh, they are enjoying the music. So actually I can say that it actually helps, yeah, the understanding of the cross cultural, and also it also helps our mood lah, for example, in Malaysia. So I can see also one video in TikTok, if I don't know if you realize or not, when this song, when they play this song in one of the mall, the people suddenly they are dancing. The Malaysians, they are dancing, even though it's actually an Indonesian song. Again, it shows you how song can also help, yeah, to help the cross-cultural understanding between the people, not only between nation and nation, but also between the Malaysians itself. Yeah. So that's for your question, Lovina. Am I answering your question?
Bagaimana,
Yes.
Vena?
Ya, cukup Mbak. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak, Domina. I hope that you can, based on your questions just now, maybe you can, discuss with your lecturers and do it for your FYP, yeah, for your thesis. Why the Malaysian products are not accepted, not really accepted in Indonesia right now? Okay.
Iya,
Okay, for the
because the
question just
only
now
thank
of
you.
Hafiz,
Okay.
yeah, just now
And the
Hafiz,
second
you
one,
asked
yes,
about, bagaimana
national
bahasa
identity.
Malaysia. Bagaimana bahasa Malaysia ni, adakah akan terus bagaimana masih terus terjaga lah. Okay, right now, I mean, saya tak pernah nampak, ya Hafiz, video yang kamu nyatakan itu, bagaimana student di Malaysia ini lebih fasih berbahasa Indonesia. If you ask me that question, may I know the video itu, adakah video itu dirakamkan di sekolah kebangsaan ataupun sekolah-sekolah yang memang mata pelajarannya diambil dari Indonesia, Hafiz? Can you explain to me the context of the video?
Hafiz lihat videonya di mana? Konteks videonya apa? Itu di sekolah diambilnya atau
Ya.
gimana?
Video yang saya tonton itu diambilnya tuh di sekolah, kayak apa ya? Gurunya itu sedang mengoreksi jawaban dari murid-muridnya. Nah, kebanyakan muridnya itu menggunakan bahasa Indonesia.
Tapi di sekolahnya di sekolah kebangsaan, ya?
Sekolah
Iya.
sekolah negeri ya, kebangsaan sekolah negeri, government school, you mean?
Yes, government school.
Mhm.
Hafiz?
Sekolah apa?
Yes, sekolah-sekolah, they do wear uniform gitu ya, Farhan ya.
Hmm.
Oke, ya
Okey, terima
sepertinya
kasih.
seperti itu.
Terima kasih. Hafiz ke Farhan?
Farhan,
Farhan, terima kasih Farhan untuk
there are three Hafiz in class.
Okey, terima kasih Farhan untuk soalannya. Sebab itu saya bertanya tadi dan juga saya harap Farhan faham ya sebelum kita, sebab itu saya katakan tadi bila kita melihat sesuatu video yang dipaparkan di media itu kita perlu tahu konteks dan juga kita perlu validate dahulu. Kerana apa Hafiz ataupun Farhan, kenapa saya cakap begitu? Kerana di Malaysia ini ada juga sekolah-sekolah yang menggunakan subjek di bahasa menggunakan mata pelajarannya di bahasa Malaysia kan, tetapi sekolahnya itu tertumpu kepada maksud saya nasionalismnya masih kepada Indonesia. Kerana contoh ya, di Malaysia ada beberapa sekolah di kawasannya memang diduduki oleh orang Indonesia. Mereka mengajar subjek-subjek di Malaysia tetapi menggunakan apa orang kata itu um, uh, bukan berpaksikan Indonesia tetapi mereka ini mengajar anak-anak yang migran dari Indonesia.
Oke,
Faham tak Farhan?
Farhan.
Saya
Jadi
bagi contoh, ya, di Malaysia ini contohnya di Kampung Baru, kami ada beberapa penempatan ataupun kita panggil sekolah-sekolah kecil, mereka ini mengajar anak-anak dari Indonesia Ibu Rizky. So mereka ini memang orang Indonesia, tinggal di Malaysia dan anak-anak ini juga memang pertuturannya setiap hari menggunakan bahasa Indonesia. Okay, so sebab itu saya katakan tadi, every time when we watch any video, we should try to validate the context first. Kita kena tahu konteks dahulu. Okay, soalan Farhan tadi, kalau mahu tahu lebih lanjut kan, bagaimana ingin menjadikan bahasa Melayu itu masih terpelihara daripada sebarang anasir-anasir luar kan? Sebab itu saya kata sekarang ini bahasa Malaysia, daripada apa yang saya dapati daripada rakan-rakan saya yang mengajar bahasa Malaysia, mereka menyatakan bahawa dosen-dosen ya yang mengajar bahasa Malaysia, mereka mengatakan bahawa golongan Gen Z ini memang mengalami masalah yang besar. Kerana apa? Golongan-golongan Gen Z yang terbaru ini, nombor satu, mereka sudah tidak didedahkan dengan bahasa Malaysia yang betul. Nombor dua, masyarakat di Malaysia lebih gemar menggunakan bahasa Inggeris. Ini a common problem. Ya, me myself, ini a bit bias lah ya. Me myself, saya mahu anak saya bisa berbahasa Inggeris. So when I show them videos in YouTube, I will show them videos in English. So ialah because saya rasa sekarang ni bahasa Inggeris kan semakin berkembang kan. And nombor tiga, as I mentioned to you just now, a lot of videos right now, especially in Indonesian language, that can be accessed by the young generation. Macam saya bagi tahu tadi, anak saudara saya, a nephew of mine, dia bisa berbahasa Indonesia sangat clear because dia melihat banyak video dalam bahasa Indonesia yang berbentuk game lah, kan? Anjay, itu dan ini. Dia ada sebutlah bahasa-bahasa apa tu? Dia ada gunakan bahasa-bahasa slang dari Indonesia, betul. Tapi saya sudah lupa apa yang dia selalu gunakan. Apa dari manjai, sepakan dari manjai. Apakah saya dah lupa lah.
No, it's considered impolite, Doctor. If you mean it's anjay, ya.
Anjay, yes. Ada juga perkataan lain yang dia guna, tapi saya tahu itu bahasa Indonesia. But I forgot what are the sentence. So, what I'm trying to tell you here, bahasa sekarang ni memang, bahasa Malaysia sekarang ini, kalau menurut rakan-rakan saya yang mengajar bahasa Malaysia, it's very difficult for them to right now to teach their students. So apakah langkah-langkah yang sedang diambil? Memang kerajaan sekarang ini sangat memartabatkan bahasa Malaysia. Kerajaan di Malaysia sekarang ini cuba memastikan, mewajibkan sesiapa juga jika mahu mereka untuk mendapat kelulusan untuk bekerja dan sebagainya, antaranya bahasa Malaysianya itu perlu at least, kalau dalam peperiksaan, at least perlu dapat C, grade-nya C, Farhan.
Minimum.
Di Malaysia lah, minimum. If you want to enter universities pun, your bahasa Malaysia at least kena dapat grade C. Okay, so sebab itu sekarang ni saya lihat ada juga kes di mana rakan saya sendiri semasa saya di sekolah dahulu, bahasa Malaysianya tak lulus ibu. So apa yang dia buat? Dia retake the exam.
Oh,
Yeah, so meaning that the government right now they are emphasizing very they are putting a lot of effort lah to memartabatkan to make sure bahasa Malaysia is always the main priority for the students and also for the rakyat. Am I answering your question, Farhan?
bagaimana Farhan? Sudah terjawab?
Sudah,
Jadi,
sudah.
ya.
Ya.
Jadi disesuaikan
Untuk
dulu videonya dengan segala konteks supaya kita bisa memaknai video itu sebaik-baiknya.
ya. Okey.
Oke, and the
So,
last,
soalan nombor 3 untuk Octavia ya. As explained by Dr. Rakib in the lecture, many digital conflicts between Indonesia and Malaysia are often triggered by viral content such as music, culture, slang, or cultural claims. Considering that bahasa Indonesia and bahasa Melayu are linguistic very close, why does miscommunication still frequently occur in social media interactions between users from both countries? Okay, soalan ini is a bit tricky considering that bahasa Melayu very close. Yes, even though our language is very close, but again, I would like to make this emphasize. Yes, our language is very close, but somehow we have different cultures, we have different ways of thinking, and sometimes also because we have different patriotism. Ya, kalau Indonesia ni saya tahu mereka, because saya ada banyak kawan-kawan dari Indonesia, rakan-rakan dari Indonesia, their patriotism is top notch. I can say the Indonesian patriotism is very high. Okay, so when you discuss about, for example, batik, or you discuss about rendang, don't play with Indonesian. You jangan main-main. Yeah, it's very sensitive. So again, it's also related to the Malaysian. Yeah? For example, when I said about Islam, yeah, do not play with Islam. Do not say anything about royalties. Yeah. So we have our own sensitivities. Yeah. That's why I said when we have different understanding of a problem, this can cause miscommunication. Yeah. Di Malaysia, you cannot say anything about Sultan or Raja because Sultan and Raja is considered as sacred, sesuatu yang sangat suci. Yeah. So you cannot say anything about this. Yeah? Even if you say anything about Sultan, if you say anything about Islam, if you say anything about Melayu in Malaysia, you can get arrested, yeah? And you can convicted by the authority. Menunjukkan bahawa negara yang berbeza, adat yang berbeza, pemahaman yang berbeza, sensitivity yang berbeza menyebabkan kita boleh berlaku konflik lah jika kita tidak berjaga-jaga. Okay, so your next question, to what extent are these tensions driven by genuine cultural and linguistic differences? Saya rasa saya dah menjawab tadi. And to what extent are they amplified by social media algorithms? Saya rasa social media algorithms ni sangat penting ya untuk kita faham. Kerana apa? Saya bagi contoh lah. Ya. I can give you one example. When I watched a video about the Indonesian conflict that happened last 2-3 months about the yalah when Prabowo mention about the kan isu di parlimen itu yang ramai menari itu, saya lihat satu video and then tiba-tiba the next 2-3 videos they are feeding me with the same issue.
yeah.
Ya, isu yang sama. Okay, so yes, social media algorithm sangat berbahaya. Bukanlah saya kata berbahaya, but this is how the social media works right now. They are going for sensationalized issue, and this algorithm juga bergantung kepada bagaimana cara kita menggunakan social media. Okay, so we have to be careful, we have to be mindful. Ini yang saya rasa the keyword here, mindful ya. Kerana social media juga melihat bagaimana kita scroll our social media. So kita kena faham bila kita di feed when we are feed by these contents, we know that social media knows that we are watching this type of issue. Ya, so apabila kita digembar-gemburkan, apabila kita dihadapkan dengan sebegini punya content, we have to always be mindful. And hopefully bila kita lihat video-video ini yang ringkas ini, we should try to find out more about the issue. Ini nasihat saya lah. Kita jangan hanya melihat, tapi kita cuba find out more about that particular issue. Yeah, because video di TikTok hanya 1 minit, 2 minit. We don't know the real issue. Yeah, to find out more, you should go and find out maybe in other websites, in other columns or forums. Maybe you can ask your lecturers to find out more what's happening actually with an issue that you watch in the TikTok. That's my advice.
Thank you,
Okay.
Doctor.
Thank you so
Any,
much.
any comments? Zeta? Is that clear enough? Okay. Okay, I think that's a 3 question. And teman-teman, ada 3 pertanyaan dari penanya, dari 3 orang. Dan tadi Dr. Akib, ini ada giveaway. Ada hadiahnya untuk 3 orang yang
Wah,
sudah bertanya. Boleh silakan
okay.
teman-teman. Nah, ini ada buku-buku yang menarik, yang bagus banget, yang terkait dengan popular culture. Oke,
Kalau
nah,
saya di Malaysia, Ibu, selalunya saya bagi duit, Ibu. Betul. Kalau mereka di Malaysia ni, saya sudah bagi mereka duit. Tapi insyaAllah,
nah,
next time you can bring them, I can give them money.
oke. Oke, baik ya. Jadi nanti buat Vena, buat Farhan, dan juga buat Zeta bisa diambil bukunya di kampus ya. Oke, congratulations, and I think that's for discussion and Q&A session. And thank you for the excellent question and reflections. And they clearly show how digital intercultural communication is something you experience daily and not just study academically. And thank you so much for sharing your thought today, Dr. Akib. But before we wrap up,
Thank
would
you
you
so
like to
much.
give some closing remarks or final thought for all of us here?
Um, I would like to thank, that's all. I would like to thank to all of you
Okay.
for the participants. They ask very good questions. I like, one of the things that I like about Indonesian, they are, when they ask in terms of interactive, they are being very interactive in all my classes in Indonesia. Yeah, that's good. And also, I hope
Thank
this
you.
collaboration, as I mentioned just now in the early part of my discussion just now, I hope this collaboration can be better in the future. Inshallah, I will discuss more, inshallah, with Ibu Rizki to have more programs in the future, inshallah. Yeah, Ibu Rizki, yeah?
We are looking forward, ya Mbak Dian.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Okay, that's very wonderful, Doctor. Thank you, and we really appreciate your time and all the valuable insight you've shared with us today. And yes, if you happen to come to Jakarta, we'd be delighted to have you visit Campus Politeknik Tempo. And for the last, we will proceed to the reflect and relate session. I will not conclude the discussion. In this segment, students from class PIK will share short reflection on what they have learned today and how the lecture relates to the Pengantar Ilmu Komunikasi course. And this reflection I thought is important because learning is not only about listening, but also about making meaning, connecting theory, experience, and context. That just you said. Dan silakan kepada Zeta untuk menyampaikan catatan refleksinya.
Allow me to share a reflection on today's very valuable learning experience. Yang terhormat Pak Dr. Akib dan Mbak Rizky dan para dokter sekalian. After attending the international guest lecture organized by Politeknik Tempo, I gained new insights into how cross-cultural communication among Generation Z in Indonesia and in Malaysia develops in digital spaces. The session delivered by Dr. Akib from University Saint Islam, Malaysia, helped me understand that intercultural communication is not only a theoretical concept, but something we experience daily through social media, online content, and digital interaction. This guest lecture also enriched my understanding of the introduction to communication studies atau mata kuliah pengantar ilmu komunikasi that I have learned in class. Communication concepts such as the communication process, intercultural communication, perception, symbols, meanings, and communication effects become easier to understand because they were connected through examples from Gen Z digital interaction. This made the theories we usually learn in class feel more relevant and applicable. One important lesson I learned is that digital platforms strongly influence how Gen Z communicates, builds identity, and exchange culture across borders. Although Indonesia and Malaysia share cultural similarities, different in language style, Symbols and humor can lead to different interpretations. This helped me realize the importance of context and cultural awareness in communication. Through this session, I also become more aware of the importance of cultural sensitivity in digital spaces. As a Gen Z who actively uses social media, I learned that effective communication is not only about delivering messages, but also about understanding how others might receive them. Overall, this international guest lecture was very meaningful. It broadened my global perspective and strengthened my understanding of the PK material. It also encouraged me to become a more critical and responsible communicator in the digital era. To end this reflection in a light tone, borrowing style of Jarjit rhyme in Upin Ipin, one and two, communication must be true, different culture, different view. If you respect, we understand too. Betul, betul, betul. Terima kasih. Sampai jumpa di lain waktu. Monas boleh, Menara Petronas juga boleh. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Zeta. Okay, that's the reflection and from Zeta. And today's discussion shows us two important realities of digital intercultural communication. One, on site, we see how language and culture circulate quickly across borders and may raise different perception. And on the other side, we also see empathy, solidarity, and shared humanity enabled by the same digital platforms. And this reminds us that communication is not merely about sending messages, but about understanding differences and creating connections. As I read on a book, Edward T. Hall once said, "Culture is communication, and communication is culture." Insya Allah, sesi hari ini membuat kita lebih sadar bahwa setiap interaksi digital, sekecil apapun, adalah bagian dari proses komunikasi lintas budaya. Insya Allah, Dokter, perkongsian kita hari ini memberi manfaat dan membuka ruang kefahaman yang lebih luas antar Gen Z, generasi muda di antara dua negara ini. Kami sangat menunggu kolaborasi-kolaborasi berikutnya. Thank you very much to our guest speaker, Dr. Muhammad Rakib, and to all participants for your active engagement. And with that, I would like to hand the session back to our beautiful MC for the official closing. Silakan, Neng Tiara.
Baik. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the main discussion session. As a token of appreciation and gratitude for the valuable insights and knowledge shared during this international guest lecture, Polytechnic Tempo would like to present a virtual e-certificate to our distinguished guest lecturer. The e-certificate will be officially handed over by the Director of Polytechnic Tempo, Bapak Salvi Andri, SPMM.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Muhammad Rakib. In appreciation of your contribution and guest speaker in international guest lecture, and thank you for sharing for your knowledge and experience, and wishing you can be success and good health always. Thank you, Pak.
Insyaallah. Terima
Thank
kasih,
you,
Pak.
Pak. Sama-sama, Pak Rakib. Thank you.
Terima kasih, Pak Salvi.
Baik, terima kasih. Hadirin yang kami hormati, we will now have a virtual group photo session via Zoom as part of the official documentation of this event. Kepada seluruh peserta, kami mohon untuk mengaktifkan kamera dan mengikuti arahan dari panitia.
Ya. Izin kepada Bapak Ibu dosen, Bapak Salvi, Pak Nur Hidayat, dan teman-teman semua untuk membuka kamera karena kita akan foto session. Sebentar. Baik. Oke. Siap. 1, 2, 3. Oke. Siap, sekali lagi boleh tahan. Kita ambil bannernya. Oke, siap. 1, 2, 3. Next slide boleh tahan. Oke, persiapan. Siap. 1, 2, 3. Tahan. The next slide. Oke.
Boleh dengan gayanya ya, teman-teman. Dr. Akib.
Oke. Terakhir persiapan. Siap. 1, 2. Oke, thank you for all your participation.
Terima kasih atas partisipasinya. Hadirin yang kami hormati, we have now reached the end of our international guest lecture conducted via Zoom meeting. On behalf of Polytechnic Tempo and the organizing committee, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to our guest lecturer from UZIM, the moderator, university leaders, lecturers, and all students who have participated online today. Semoga kegiatan ini memberikan manfaat akademik, memperkaya perspektif global, serta meningkatkan sensitivitas budaya mahasiswa dalam menghadapi dinamika komunikasi digital lintas negara. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih banyak, Dokter
Waalaikumsalam
Akib.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Masya Allah banget ya.
Sehat-sehat selalu, Dokter.
Terima kasih.
My best regards to family.
Insyaallah. Thank you so much, Ibu. Baik.
Terima kasih teman-teman semua.
Terima kasih
Pak
Mbak
Salvi,
Rizky.
Pak Nurhi, Mbak Rahma, Mbak Dian.
Thank
Terima
you,
kasih
dokter.
semua. Terima kasih Mbak Rizky. Terima kasih juga Mbak Dian. Terima kasih banyak semua teman-teman.
Saya Regar, program studi produksi media. Yang membuat saya memilih Politeknik Tempo itu karena dosen-dosennya memiliki pengalaman kerja di industri media lebih dari 50 tahun. Sejak awal perkuliahan, saya sudah praktik langsung di redaksi, desain, dan bagian bisnis. Praktik ini merupakan sesuatu yang tidak akan diperoleh di perguruan tinggi lain.
Saya Hani, ibu dari Almera, program studi produksi media. Politeknik Tempo buat saya adalah institusi yang life changing karena anak saya ini sebelum di Tempo dia pernah kuliah di perguruan tinggi lain bahkan sampai ke Cina. Dan dia merasa tidak enjoy sampai akhirnya dia kuliah di Politeknik Tempo ini. Ini luar biasa banget membuat Almera itu berubah. Karena yang ada di Politeknik Tempo ini, selain dia mengedukasi hard skill, dia juga membekali soft skill baik disiplin, akhlak, kejujuran, attitude, effort, terutama motivasi yang luar biasa karena hubungan antara dosen dengan mahasiswanya itu tidak ada jarak, jadi lebih bonding gitu, tidak seperti perguruan tinggi lain yang kaku antara mahasiswa dengan dosen. Nah, yang saya lihat perubahan di anak saya dengan kuliah di Politeknik Tempo ini itu sangat signifikan karena dia punya motivasi, effort yang luar biasa terutama di pekerjaan saya karena pekerjaan saya pun memang di media sosial itu bisa langsung dipraktekkan ilmu yang dia dapat di Politeknik Tempo ini. Jadi itu perubahannya itu nyata, bahkan dia bisa sampai presentasi untuk pekerjaan saya. Dia juga secara kemampuan berkomunikasinya juga jauh juga lebih baik. Jadi memang yang mau kuliah di Politeknik Tempo itu nggak usah ragu karena memang itu yang didapatnya itu luar biasa, tidak hanya teori tapi praktek yang saya rasakan sendiri dari anak saya.